And next to Syria, where rebels briefly seized control of the only border crossing with Israel in the Golan Heights today, sending UN staff in the area scrambling to shelters. Austrian peacekeepers announced they'd withdraw their troops because of the violence. Several hours later, President Bashar al-Assad's forces retook the crossing. Meanwhile, al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri urged Syrians to unite against Assad. And in Lebanon, there were more signs today that the conflict is spilling over there following the takeover of the Syrian town of Qusair by Assad forces and Hezbollah. Margaret Warner is in Beirut and talked to Ray Suarez a short time ago.
Margaret, welcome. What's the reaction in Lebanon to the victory of Assad's forces in Qusair over the Free Syrian Army?
Ray, the reaction's been large here because of the role that Hezbollah fighters from Lebanon played in the retaking of Qusair, assisting the Assad forces. There also has been an immediate security reaction here in Lebanon. That is, 11 rockets were fired overnight at the Hezbollah stronghold in the Bekaa Valley, Baalbek. And then today, the Syrian military plane, or it looks like a helicopter, fired rockets at a town in northern Lebanon in the Bekaa Valley that's been a haven for Free Syrian Army fighters, rebels, and refugees. That was of particular concern to Western diplomatic officials here, what the Syrian military did, because as one said to me, it shows that the Syrian government doesn't feel any sense of restraint anymore about crossing this border line to pursue its enemies inside Lebanon. And finally, it has stirred up fears among people here who have their ear to the ground in terms of the security situation, that it is going to inflame Sunnis here and that extremist Sunnis may take their revenge on Hezbollah and Shias in general by attacking them here in Lebanon.
You've had the chance to speak to people close to both Hezbollah and the Syrian rebels. What's next for both sides in this conflict?
What I hear from someone very close to the FSA General Idris is that there are many FSA fighters still trapped in Qusair between government forces in the center of town and essentially a lot of Hezbollah around. He said the main problem the FSA realizes they have and have to solve is one of command and control, that the forces they thought they were collecting from around the country to go in and do a rescue operation, which I reported on last Friday, most of them never got in. So that's their situation. For Hezbollah, I talked to someone, a former Lebanese security and intelligence official, very close to, talks to all the players, including the Syrians because of the Syrian occupation here. He said he doubts that Hezbollah will, as others have reported, move on to Aleppo and other areas in Syria. He said, I don't believe they're going to move deep into Syria. They're going to stay in protecting the border around Lebanon, protecting holy sites, Shiite holy sites, protecting their own supply routes, and protecting some Lebanese who live inside Syria. He said, I would be surprised if they go on. So that all remains to be seen.
Our Margaret Warner joining us from Beirut. Margaret, thanks a lot.
My pleasure, Ray.